Well, welcome back everybody, and welcome to the last installment in this Reefs S2 Season 2 series. I'm Graham from Great Off-Road Adventures, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Our final day on Dirk Hartog Island was spent just exploring around a few bits and pieces we hadn't yet gotten to see. So we came up here to the highest point on the island, which is Hartog Heights. The view out over the cliffs is stunning, as is the view back over towards the mainland. It is just absolutely beautiful up here. From Hartog Heights, we made our way over to Coin Bluff to check out the view. The whole island is covered in these stunning yellow wildflowers. It was really something else. And also from the top of Coin Bluff, we got a good view of the whale watching boat heading out. It was quite a cool place to come and check out. After Coin Bluff, it was time for us to head back towards camp. Today was really just a bit of a relaxed day, and we had a nighttime function planned for the whole group where we could all get together, have a bit of fun, reminisce on the trip before all having to go our own separate ways the next day. So we just wanted to get back and get ready for that.
Yeah, you should walk up that hill, Damo. I just did it in low range first, and then do cruise up. We won't be doing nothing.
If you've made it this far into the episode, guys, go down there, smash that subscribe button, enable the bell for notifications on future videos, and give us a thumbs up because you're obviously enjoying it. Well, very sadly, after an amazing 6 days on the island, 5 days on the island, lost track, it's time for us to return to the mainland. So camps are packed up, including the rain. Yeah, we got rained on during pack up, which is always fun, but it is what it is. And yeah, we've got a half-hour drive down to the barge. That'll get us down there at about 7:30, and then we'll be on the barge back across the mainland. We're gonna have a few more days up this way. We're gonna go and check out Steep Point today,
and then we're going to go and camp over in Monkey Mire for the next couple of days and explore that area. That's an area I have explored before, so probably not going to capture a great deal of video regarding it. Anyway, let's get on the move, get down to the barge, and we'll see you down there.
I was truly sad to have to say goodbye to Dirk Hartog Island. I had so much fun exploring the island, checking out all the points of interest. It was a lot of fun to do it with our group as well. Sharing the experience with a whole heap of like-minded people really made the trip just so enjoyable. So yeah, it was sad to have to leave, but it is what it is. If you want to see all 200 plus images that we captured from this trip, make sure you jump on our Instagram at Great Off-Road Adventures and check them out. Well, that was another successful barge crossing. The barge landing on the mainland is a lot shallower, so it's a lot easier to reverse off onto, and a lot firmer too. So we're currently heading round to the steep point sign, making our way through the track now, and yeah, look forward to checking it out. The view when you do this track is stunning, really good. Well, we've made it to Steep Point. It's not too challenging to get out here these days, especially considering what we've just done over on the island. I wasn't going to miss the opportunity to come up here and get another photo with the sign. So we've done that, grabbed our photo with the sign, signed into the visitors book, had a good look around, and now it's time for us to say goodbye to the adventure and return back to, well, normality in a way. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed our time over here, Dirk Hartog Island, Steep Point. Obviously preceding that we had all our trip through the Kennedys and up into Ningaloo. So it is a bit sad that it's wrapping up. We've got a couple of days left. We're going to go stay in Monkey Mire and we're going to check out sort of Perron and just relax. I'm probably going to put the cameras down and not record a whole heap of it. But we'll see how it goes anyway. Well, we're making our way back home. We've stopped for our last night at Galena Bridge on the return journey, and we've just quickly set the trailer up. I thought now is the best opportunity to run you through
how it's fared. So let's go for a quick walk around. All right, so starting at the front on this side, fridge compartment. Found it really useful. It holds a 96 litre fridge. On the slide, we've been able to keep a few extra bits and pieces. So we've got sauces, stubby coolers, bug spray, etc. And it's a good utilisation of space, being able to fit the big fridge on it. We have had a little bit of dust come into the compartment, which you can sort of see there. But realistically, not all that bad. Moving around the trailer to this side, Jess is going to grab the drawers and runners for me now. This is where we've kept all our cutlery and crockery. So everything we had in our kitchen drawer in the car, we were able to fit in the trailer without any issues. So cookware, cookware, bowls, plates, cups, all of that, all in there.
And no dust in the cookware.
Yep. Little bit of dust in the compartment.
Yeah, so again.
So you can see that. Well, we honestly haven't cleaned anything, wiped anything down. You can see down the side here, a little bit of dust, but not the end of the world. The section up the top here is where we kept all the poles for the awning, annex, etc., pegs. We kept the paddles for the kayaks. We kept our LED strip lights, a bag of ratchet straps, all that stuff, all in there. So yeah, pretty useful. Continuing around the outside, obviously got the kitchen. This is completely dust free.
The sand's from the wind, not the driving.
Yep, so no dust came into this compartment whilst we were driving. Obviously, it was set up for a week at Dirk Hartog in the wind, so there was still dust and sand blown onto it.
Very messy.
Yeah, it's all right. One thing that does happen on the drives, the little tops of the burners fall off and move around, but they're quite easy just to set back up again and off you go.
And if you're getting a new one, you just keep the foam.
Yep. The other option you've got is you just buy some foam from Clark Rubber, and you can just jam it underneath the burners on top of the, underneath the plates on top of the burners, so to say. Well, Jess fixes all that up. In here, got all the cutlery for eating and cooking, and then obviously we also kept in this side Glad wrap and alfoil and Chuck's wipes. Tip for those of you with kitchen sinks, keep your cloths and detergent and all that in the sink, because it's a good utilisation of the space. So that's the living side of the trailer done. We'll show you inside once we've finished the entirety of the outside. Moving around the back, we've got a toolbox back here, which we kept all like the easy access stuff. So it's got cordless drill for putting down the legs, power cord, handle for the jockey wheel, battery charger, water hose. It also has the 10-meter Anderson extension plug for like plugging in the solar panels. And all that. So yeah, that's what we've kept in there. Come around this side of the trailer, I'll step back behind the camera. Obviously the big one is we got the luggage rack, so we've had the kayaks on that and the fishing rods, and that's been super easy just to fold over out of the way, so we can set up the camper for our overnight stops. Just a little toolbox in the back here. We've kept our blocks of wood to put under the stabilizer legs and sand pegs and that sort of stuff. So again, pretty easy to get to, out of the way. And that one's been dust free without any issues. Moving around the trailer, we've got an instruments panel on this side. So you've got volts, amps. So right now the fridge is probably running, drawing 4 amps. And obviously all your switches and then resettable breakers there. So
we just got, whilst we're driving, just the fridge and the instruments on. We turned the pump and all the other stuff off. Used a fair bit of water for the second bit of the trip, but it's all good. So again, the next compartment that we get to here is a through and through compartment, so it goes all the way through to the other side. This section here, we kept the chainsaw, the shower box and some buckets. We also kept a dustpan and brush. This is all our soaps and stuff that we used in the ocean and in the caravan parks and stuff. So yeah, of course, again, top section goes all the way through. So you've got the poles for the awning, and you can see the ratchet strap bag there. We threw in a few extra poles. We got life jackets, etc. So that's all that compartment. Closing it up, again, this one did get a little bit of dust into it down this side here. So not the end of the world. Actually, you know, considering where we've taken it and everything we've done, the amount of dust that's come in has been quite respectable, really. I think I've got more dust in the back of my car, to be honest. And of course, the last compartment around this side is the back side of the fridge compartment. I'll try and show you in there. There's actually a divider. So there's a solid wall between the fridge and this compartment. Some of them go through and through, but this one is actually separated, which is quite handy. So what we've done is, originally it had two drawers. We actually took the top drawer out, quickly knocked up a very cheap and easy shelf to sit in here, which has allowed us, in the top section, we've kept our pop-up shower tent, the floor and the annex all in the top there, and then in the bottom section in the drawer that's easy to pull out, we've kept the chemical loo. Obviously kept it in a camp cover bag, and then obviously kept with it TP, sanitizer, and in the front pocket here, it's all the chemicals and bits and pieces required for the chemical loo. So yeah, that's that. Nice and easy and simple to get out and get to. It is a tight fit because I made the shelf. Plus, we're trying to fit a fair bit in there. And of course, underneath the drawer, if we show you that, we're actually able to keep the foam mats for use under the shower and all that. So yeah, quite a lot of space on the trailer. It's been pretty handy. So anyway, we'll shut that up. Jess will close it up and I'll shoot around to the inside of the trailer. So like I said, I touched on and showed you, there has been a little bit of dust get into some of the compartments, but honestly, where we've taken it, just got to get this stick out of my shoe, where we've taken it into Ningaloo, through the Kennedy Ranges.
The bull dust.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of bull dust on that stretch of the leg. And then all the way out to Steep Point, onto the island, back again. You know, that amount of dust is minute in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, I've actually probably got more dust in my car than we do in the trailer. The important one though is the main living area of the trailer, which if we come into now, this section here has been entirely dust free. It's been really handy. I'm just going to kick my shoes off and I'll take you in. So I took the solar panel off of the roof of the car and I've just been laying it down in here. We were utilizing it with the trailer, having both solar panels running at the same time to charge the trailer. So we've obviously got the lounge setting there. In here, we've obviously utilized it for a bit more storage. We've just kept our pillows, our clothes bags, and then we've got the table and our plastic boxes of food. So yeah, that's how we've packed the trailer. We've been able to keep it all below the height of the cushions, which means it's super easy to fold over and pack it all in. And of course, turning you around, double bed, well sorry, not double, queen, full queen bed. Mattress was quite comfy, mattress topper on it. And it's honestly, to put it up, it's 6 poles in here to put up. So it's really quick and simple and easy. Anyway, we'll jump out the front and we'll share our thoughts on the trip with you so far. Well, it's time for us to wrap up the trip, but before we do so, we just want to share our thoughts on it.
I personally have really enjoyed this trip. You can probably tell because the videoing hasn't been the greatest, which means that I've gotten into a holiday mode a little bit. It's been really great to go and explore areas that we haven't gotten to see before. And it's been really, really enjoyable. Taking the camper with us, I was really worried that it was going to hold us back and where we could take it, where we could go. Has not proven to be the case at all. It has actually made the trip so much more enjoyable and so much more fun. We could bring activities with us like the fishing rods, the kayaks that we couldn't do before, and instead of having to pack up the rooftop tent, which granted it's not a massive thing to have to do, but it is something you've got to do each morning. We haven't had to. We've been able to park the camper as a base camp at Ningaloo and on Dirk Hartog Island and go out and explore and go and do things, go fishing, etc., and then come back to camp and it's all set up and not have to worry about you know, pulling stuff out of the car, packing stuff up to be able to use it. So that has really made the trip so much more enjoyable for us. Do you want to add anything on that note?
Oh, as usual, you've always taken the words out of my mouth and sort of covered it all. But yeah, personally, I was really concerned that having a camper with that bit extra setup was going to be a pain in the ass for our overnights and while we're at the Kennedy Ranges where we were moving each day.
Yeah.
But with no awning on, it is super easy to pack up, and it's so nice to have a big queen bed and all your clothes laid out nicely, and just, you know, you don't feel like you're roughing it at all. We're definitely glamping now.
It was a really good test for us on what camper trailers were like. We've never had any experience with campers before, so for us to be able to do a trip where we could utilize it as a base camp and then also turn around and utilize it day after day, moving frequently like what we did through the Kennedys, it was really helpful for us to understand what we want in a camper, because ultimately that's what we're going to have to end up getting for us to continue our trips and all of that with family. So, you know, it was a good test for us to be able to see what they're capable of, if they were going to hold us back in getting to our destinations and going on the tracks, and then B, what they were like both as a base camp and also using day after day with regular moving.
And that's why we designed the trip the way we did. We knew that Cape camper trailers were going to be lending us this camper for the trip.
Yep.
And so we really wanted to test it on everything, on sand, on gravel, daily stopping, staying for a week, so we could really test. So we now have a great baseline for what to expect from a camper trailer.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really a great experience for us, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. And so on that note, a massive thank you to Clive and Tanya from Cape Camper Trailers. Their link's in the description. They did lend us the trailer. We met them at the 4-wheel drive show last year. They're actually on the same site as us. They're on the Lifestyle 4-wheel drive site. We formed a good friendship with them, and they said to us, if you ever want to test out a trailer to see what it's like, get in touch. And so we did, and they generously did lend us this trailer. So completely unbiased review, not that we're really doing much of a review, but they did lend us the trailer. We've gone and put it through its paces. I've given you a full walk around of what it's like in all the compartments, the inside, the outside. When I get home, I'll give you a look at what it looks like underneath. They were very generous to lend us the trailer, and we're going to bring it back to them, obviously fully detailed and nice and clean. Not like it is right now because we're still on the trip, but yeah, a massive thank you to them. And honestly guys, if you are in the market for a camper, check them out. It has seriously impressed me with what A, it's capable of doing, and B, how it stood up to what we've put it through the last sort of pretty much 2.5 weeks.
And it's not just us, like, you know, we've been camping with other people, so
Correct.
as you do whenever you're camping with friends, you sort of suss out what each other's setups are like and just sort of get some new tips and hints and all of that. And yeah, we haven't really found any major fault with it, but no. Every person with every situation is different and every need is different. So
correct. Yep. So
yeah,
exactly. Like I've always said to you guys in all the other reviews that I've done, make sure you do your research, go and check what's out there, make sound decisions, and
consider what you are going to use it for.
Exactly. Ultimately, what we use it for and what you guys might use it for could be two completely different purposes. So have a look at what you're going to utilize it for, have a look where you want to take it, what you want to do with it, and then do your research to suit and hopefully make a good sound decision. But yeah, we have really enjoyed towing the trailer. It honestly has not been a burden whatsoever.
The car's just not even noticed it.
Yep, car hasn't really noticed it.
Got to give the cruiser some props.
Yeah, they are built for towing, so yeah, it has been a really great experience. So anyway, guys, what I'll do is I'll leave you here now. We've got the last 600 Ks to go to get home, so we're going to go and smash that out tomorrow. What I'll do is when I get home, I'll give you the final stats for the fuel. This is something that people have asked us quite regularly on our big trips. How much fuel have you used? What have your costs been? So we will do a quick little segment on that when we get home. Anyway, it's time for us to relax and enjoy the holiday. We're on the homewards run now. There's not a lot for us left to show you, so you know the deal, guys. Happy, safe adventuring. Stay safe on the tracks and trails, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Well, everyone, it's time to wrap up our thoughts on our trip. Our trip to Ningaloo Station, the Kennedy Ranges, and Dirk Hartog Island, which we've affectionately called Rocks to Reefs Season 2. So I did say partway through that at the end we'd go through and answer all your questions, share our thoughts and whatnot from the trip, so it's what we're going to do. So let's start with our favourite part of the trip.
That is a tough one. I had lots of different parts for different reasons. For example, I always loved driving past the ranges in Exmouth. Can't help it. The second that sunset hits those ranges is just beautiful. But at the same time, getting to explore Dirk Hartog for the first time and having that level of seclusion that you don't often get during busier school holiday times was just something you don't forget in a hurry. We affectionately named one of the beaches our little own Bora Bora. It was just shallow water for days.
Shallow turquoise blue water.
And there was like these stingrays and, it was just gorgeous. So, yeah, sorry. Don't have one favourite spot. Lots of different favourites for different reasons. And, of course, can never forget Mooka Creek.
Correct. So, my favourite bit, I loved the whole trip, and each sort of area had its own uniqueness about it. But I guess the bit that I remember the most and I guess enjoy the most would probably be the section through the Kennedy Ranges. It was just so diverse. The eastern side of the ranges is completely different to the western side of the ranges. The top of the ranges is completely different again. You've got some old stations out there, like Merlinley where we stayed, and the other one that we checked out on our way through, near Mount Sandyman. Then you get those oases like Mooka Creek. The four-wheel driving was good, nothing overly technical, but, a bit of fun, not stupidly difficult. You can still take your camper trailers and stuff through there. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that. But, at the same time, then there's little bits like from Ningaloo Station, getting out to the whaling station, going through the dunes, having to find our way through the dunes where there were no tracks. That was good fun. Dirk Hartog Island, an area that we haven't ever explored and we probably won't get to go and explore for at least a couple more years, was really cool as well. So, yeah, hard to put my finger on just one little bit, but I guess the bit that I quite enjoyed and I have quite a bit of fond memories from was from the Kennedys. So that would be my favourite part. Next question that I was going to ask was, what would we do differently with the trip?
Oh, I feel like a broken record saying this. We never give ourselves enough time. I said it the whole way through. We went to all these amazing places, and each time you were just so sad to have to pack up the camper because I was like, no, I just want a few more days. Until we got to Monkey Mire, of course. I couldn't get out of there quick enough.
Yeah, you won't see it in the video because I didn't do any filming there. After Dirk Hartog went and had a couple of days in Monkey Mire, and it was a madhouse busy.
It was the first
start of the
weekend
school holidays.
It was, our group were going there because they have young kids, and so we sort of tagged along because neither of us had been in years, and yeah.
No one in the group enjoyed it.
No.
It was...
We left a day early.
Yeah, exactly. No good. So when you've gone from the peace and quiet and the seclusion of Dirk Hartog to the madhouse of Monkey Mire, yeah. What would I do differently? Yeah. Hard question. Much the same. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to agree with Jess here. We didn't have enough time, but unfortunately, like all of you out there, we are employees and we get X amount of annual leave a year, and so we have to utilise that for our trips. And so unfortunately, you get to the end and you go, man, I would have liked to have stayed another day there, but unfortunately, by doing that, you have to lose something else. So it's just one of those trade-offs.
Yeah, there was just too many good spots.
Exactly.
We just couldn't pick on what to get rid of to stay longer elsewhere.
Well, I know now we wouldn't have gone to Monkey Mire. We would have had more time if we didn't do that. But anyway, you live and you learn. How about you? Got any questions you want to ask?
Ask you? I wasn't prepared for this. Nothing's coming to mind. I'll let you know if something pops up.
All right. What I'll do is I'll grab my phone out and I'll go through the comments on some of the videos, all the videos from the series, and I'll pick a few good questions from the comments, and we'll go through and answer those.
No worries.
Cool. All right. So from episode 1, first question was from Memories Not Money, and you were asking what camera did we use for the night time lapses. So I did a video probably about a year or so back, maybe even longer, about how I do night time lapses. I'm using a Nikon DSLR. It's a D5200. It's nothing all that fancy. I have bought a specific lens, which is a wide angle lens with a low F number. So it's what we call a fast lens. So that means that I get more exposure, let more light in, which is good for capturing the stars and doing nighttime photos. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And in that tutorial that I did, I talked about how I set up the intervals, how I calculated how long the time lapse is going to be, how many frames I'd need to take, and then how I edit it and put it together. So probably worthwhile going and checking that one out. Going Overland asked, is it easy enough to find drinking water when on the road?
That's a big question. It really depends where the road is.
Correct. We haven't really had too many issues finding water. Obviously, I would recommend taking a length of drinking water hose, some adapters. So I packed them this trip and I needed one. The threads on the tap at Carnarvon were busted, so I have one of those universal connectors. Has the hose pipe connector and then a piece of rubber with a hose clamp. You tighten it up, so you can put that onto any tap. If the threads are buggered or if there's a different fitting or something, you can always get water that way. And also take a universal tap key, because sometimes the taps, they don't actually have the handle, so that allows you to get water too. My recommendation would be, and this is what we did for this trip, we used wiki camps, and we knew where we were wanting to go on our trip. We worked out where we were going to be about halfway through where we needed to refill with water, and that was Carnarvon. And we had a look on wiki camps. We found that there was about 3 taps where you could get water in Carnarvon. Jumped on, read the reviews. One said it was perfectly clean, beautiful drinking water. That's one we went to, and I agree with that. It was good quality water, no dramas. So that's my recommendation for finding water on the road. All right, so on to episode 2, and the first question I've got is from Paul Davies, and you asked how long did it take to go from Windrabandy Point to 9 Mile or Broobajoo Point, which is one just near Coral Bay. What did we left? We packed up in the morning. We left Windrabandy about 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Was it that late?
Yeah, it was because we packed up and went for a swim.
Oh, yeah.
Hopped in the car.
Yeah.
We emptied the toilet on the way out.
Yep.
So yeah, I reckon we left Windrabandy about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Checked out Janes Bay on the way out. Went along the coast track down to 9 Mile / Broobajoo Point, and we got there about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey.
Yeah.
So.
Late lunchtime.
Yeah, late lunch. So with the trailer in tow, I'd allow 3.5 hours, 3 hours. And on that stretch too, there's a heap of tracks that go down to the coast. We ducked into pretty much all of them.
Yeah, we were always curious just to see where they went. And
had a look around, hopped out, stretched our legs and whatnot. So there you go. Paul, hopefully that helps you out. JJ's Adventures. You asked, how's the dust situation going? Have you got it under control? And I bet you're checking it all the time. So obviously that's referring to our engine replacement. And yeah, it's all under control. I'll let you know what we did in a future video. But yeah, no dramas at all with dust for this trip. Car performed absolutely faultlessly.
But yes, Graham does check it regularly.
And
just in case.
Correct, yep, I do check it regularly. So on that same topic, Notboy46 in episode 3 has said, just wondering with the dusting issue, why you don't run a pre-cleaner on the snorkel instead of the ram head. Yes, the big one is the pre-cleaner, which is that glass bowl looking thing. They do create a bit of a restriction, and so it just causes more of a vacuum through the snorkel and into the bottom of the airbox, and it can worsen and amplify the situation with the airbox warping and the seal not sealing. So that's why I still choose to run the ram head, and you'll probably see me do it more often. I did it for Dirk Hartog, where we were travelling in convoy and there was more cars. I ran a filter sock on my snorkel, but for the first half of the trip when we were just on our own, I didn't bother because I shouldn't be driving in any dust, and so yeah, it was all good. So RXP King asked, what fuel consumption did you get going around town? So touching on that, pretty much now with the new engine getting anywhere from 14 to 15 litres per 100 kilometres, no matter how I drive the car, no matter how it's set up around town, on the highway, etc. On this particular trip, I've got to do the maths and I'll put it on the screen, but overall for the trip I'll have to put it on the screen. But on the way up on the highway with the trailer in tow, we were doing about 18 litres to the 100.
Yep.
And off-road, I think the worst I saw was about 22 litres to the 100. So the average is going to be somewhere between sort of 18 to 22 for the entirety of the trip. And that was obviously towing the trailer and fully loaded, fully watered, kayaks, food,
Yep.
fridge, etc.
Which,
So
according to the ferry driver for Dirk, we were the heaviest car in his opinion. I dispute this fact,
yeah,
but he claims we were the heaviest car, so there's a lot of power needed to get it moving.
so episode 4, On the Road with John asked, I'd be interested in seeing your radio setup. I've thought about getting a HF radio in the past. What would you recommend for radios these days? They've changed a lot since I first looked at them. All right, now I had the HF put in to the car at the beginning of 2020, and the main reason that we went down the route of getting the HF is because it's what we utilise for predominantly all our communications on our variety events.
Yeah, basically, it's a requirement of the
officials
on variety motoring events that
have a HF.
Have a HF.
So that's how we ended up getting ours.
As a result, I've obviously set it up so we can also use it for our personal trips. It's a lot of information for me to go into now. My time that I've had with the HF has been a super positive experience. And so what I'll do is I'll do another video where I'll focus on my UHFs, my HFs, long range comms in the bush. I'll compare it to like a sat phone, and I'll share my thoughts on what I think is best, etc. So I'll do that in a separate video because it's a lot to cover in a question. But in short, I love my HF radio, and I would definitely recommend looking into it for remote travel.
And it has kept up with the technology.
Correct, yeah.
You've still got new technology with HF.
GPS tracking through the HF. I can send text messages through the HF. I can make phone calls through the HF. So it is a pretty powerful tool to have for remote travel. But again, I'll cover all that in a separate video. Christopher Harbin, does Jess ever chat on the camera? It's always you. Good content and great views.
I can't get a word in with Graham. He talks too much.
Hey, that's harsh.
Is it wrong?
Hey, you're talking now.
That's because you literally had a question for me.
Cool.
Thank you for asking me a question, by the way.
Peter Lee asked, what was the track from the western side of the Kennedy Ranges top to bottom like? Heard it can be difficult with a trailer. How'd the crossing of the Gascoyne River go? We found the track
pleasant.
Yeah, pretty good. We had no dramas towing the trailer through. Obviously, the trailer's really capable, sits up nice and high, plenty of ground clearance. At no point in time did we hit the back of the trailer when we were departing any creeks or going into any creek crossings or anything.
No, and we were checking because given that it wasn't ours, we did not want to damage it.
The trailer performed flawlessly and it did not hold us back at all. And obviously the car's pretty capable and I'm pretty familiar with what it can do. So, yeah, we weren't at all fazed about going down that side of the track. Obviously, crossing of the Gascoyne River, it pretty much just like driving on a beach. It's sandy. There was a little bit of water there, as you'll have seen in the video. Again, I explained in the video why I went through the water because where water pools, the ground's firmer. I didn't want to go to the side because it looked pretty soft. So, yep, went straight through, straight across, just like driving on the beach, really. If you're worried about it or your car's a bit underpowered, etc., then just let a bit more air out your tyres, pretty much would be my advice. Moving on down, Tony Williams, interesting to know how the trailer went. Any problems? Great video. Well, you would have seen at the end of this episode, we did a walk around and we shared our thoughts on the trailer. And yeah, just recapping on that again, we were both really impressed with how it went. It made the trip so much more comfortable. The trailer was really capable. It didn't hold us back on where we wanted to go at all. It went everywhere I wanted to take it.
You just get a sense of calm with the trailer because it's a little house. You've got a proper bed. You've got a lounge. You've got space. You've
nice
got
little kitchen set up.
Exactly.
It's super easy. You can just leave it set up, unhitch the car. You can go exploring, come back. It's all there for you. So, yeah, really enjoyed the camper trailer. So big thanks again to Clive and Tanya for lending us their trailer. Moses 1988. Be interesting to see the stuff that you didn't use during the trip. He said there, I'm picking up my camper trailer soon, want to travel as light as possible. E.g., roof rack, 2 spares, too much water and food. So
we always have too much water, but we always prefer to have more water than we need.
Remember, you're travelling remote, so your water is a lifeline, food is a lifeline.
We always overpack on water and food so that if anything happens and we get stuck, we are not going to starve.
Correct.
Or get hangry and get divorced.
So in the trailer, we took our chemical toilet. Obviously, that we did use that quite often. Mm-hmm. We took the awning and the floor, the shade cloth floor, so we used all that.
Mm-hmm. We didn't use awning walls.
We didn't bring awning walls.
No.
So yeah, we didn't bring them. We didn't think we'd need to use them. So yeah, and again we didn't really need them. So there wasn't a time where we're like, oh, it'd be nice to have one. we took a little chainsaw, which was the biggest fail ever because I left the batteries at home. So that's one thing that we took that I was intending to use but we couldn't use. So it would have been nice to have a little fire on the couple of nights that we had at the Kennedy Ranges. But anyway, moving on around the trailer, in that same compartment we had some buckets which we used for showering, and we used a bucket to catch the water when we drained the water from the sink, so that we could go and tip it on the bush instead of flooding out the floor of the camp. So we used that.
In regards to spares, we had all the same spares that we always have while travelling. Most of the time we don't need the spares.
I've never needed a spare tyre yet, touch wood. But at the same time, I don't want to go remote and not have the sort of essential spares. I just decided to flick the light on. It was getting a bit dark there. Look, I have the spare parts that I feel are essential for my car. So, hoses, belts, oil, coolant, 2 spare tyres, assortment of nuts and bolts, and that sort of stuff. And we didn't need any of it, but I wouldn't get rid of any of it and not take any of it on a trip, if you know what I mean. So,
like for example, when we were in the Kennedy Ranges, we saw no one. So if something had happened, we could have been waiting a couple of days, we would have missed our barge, we would have missed Dirk. So it's all benefit sort of a thing. Like, we pack a lot into our trip, so we don't want to be delayed even by a day. Hence, we carry a lot of spares. If you're going at a more chill pace or only going to one spot, then maybe you can afford to not take so many spares. And if something happens, know that you can sit around for a couple of days until
you can get spares
organised.
Exactly. There's probably one spare part or assembly that I would take that I didn't take, and that would be spare bearings or a spare hub, assembled spare hub for the trailer. There's one thing that's going to stop a trailer, and that's bearings over anything else. We didn't have any issues. The trailer was nice and new and well maintained, so I wasn't overly concerned about it. But if it was my personal trailer and I was travelling remote like that, I'd be carrying a spare sort of hub assembly with bearings pre-packed and ready to set up, so you can just swap hub assemblies over. And then I guess the other spare that I have sitting at home that I didn't take was a spare alternator for the car. Not the sort of trip that I thought I'd need it. Like, we weren't going deep into wet country with plenty of river crossings and stuff and mud and whatnot that will kill an alternator. It was going to be pretty dry. We knew that, so I wasn't overly concerned. And again, if you look after your car and you maintain it well, that sort of stuff you can sort of get away without having to take for a little bit. So anyway, moving on. All right, so episode 5, Colin Ross has said, "Come on, Jess, lift your game. I like flowers. Bit hard when you're thrown straight in it, though. What's the go with the barge? How many dollars? And is it set up to run every day or just as needed?" I love listening to the V8 doing business under load. Good work and enjoyable 30-minute video. So
stand corrected on the flowers.
Colin, the trip that we did was part of it was organised by Simon from Midland Four-Wheel Drive Centre. He organised a trip for 14 couples or 14 cars to go over. We had a special price that was organised as a result of that, so it was a package sort of thing. It included our ferry transfers to and from the island, our accommodation, some meals, some drinks vouchers.
And a guided tour of the island.
Yeah, and our guided tour up to the top of the island and back again. It was incredible value for money. If you break down the cost of all those individual things and then add them all up, if you were to do them paying for the barge and everything else individually, it would probably double. It would be 1.5 to 2 times what we paid.
In regards to the barge, so the barge does have its prices listed online.
Yep.
The prices are seasonal
Correct.
adjustments.
In summer, it's cheaper because it's hotter and there's more flies up there. In what would be winter, so the winter months, that is the better time to go and visit Dirk Hartog Island. So it's peak season.
And it also
so the barge is a bit more expensive.
Yeah, and it fluctuates on a day-by-day basis.
During the week is cheaper than the weekends.
Yeah.
I have to say as well, when I looked at Dirk Hartog Island a few years ago, I remember the barge being more expensive than what it is today. So I actually think the barge has gotten a little bit cheaper recently. So
I would definitely take the opportunity to go online, go look at the barge prices.
Correct.
It lists each day, like the days it leaves.
It's all fully laid out on the table. But it's not run every day you ask. Does it run every day or as needed? It is run as needed. So obviously you pre-book your day of arrival and your day of departure, and Kieran will run, or whoever, I think it's predominantly Kieran that runs the barge. He'll run the barge for you that day. If there's no one needing to go onto the island, if there's no one booked, then the barge won't run.
So you can't just rock up
Correct.
asking to book. You need to book in advance. But I think you can book most days. I think you can book
barge,
5 out of 7 days or something.
or 6 out of 7 days. I'm pretty sure you can book.
So, but definitely
almost any
online
day.
would be the most up-to-date information, depending on when you watch this video. So I would definitely check out online first.
Justin Berry asked, "Hey mate, what's the total length of the car and trailer? We've been told 10.6 metres is the longest. Ours looks like a similar length to yours, and it is 11.2 in total." All right. I'll put my hand up and admit I did not measure our combination, so car and trailer combined. I went off of the fact that I'd seen other 200 series with similar camper trailers and even little hybrid camper trailer caravan looking things fit on the barge. So I went on the proviso that if they fit, I'll fit. It was tight.
It was a little bit Russian roulette.
It was tight. So the ramp that obviously you use to drive up on the barge is winched up as the sort of front part of the barge. With our trailer and car combination, we weren't able to lift the ramp all the way. It was maybe sort of, instead of going up to like 45-degree angle, it was about a 30-degree angle. It was most of the way up. It wasn't all the way up.
It was enough to be able to drive the boat.
Exactly. It was enough that Kieran was happy to take us over the island and back again like that. And obviously in our group we had another 200 series with the same or similar trailer. We had the Range Rover with the hybrid camper. We had utes with trailers. So, yeah, I definitely get out and measure. And maybe just flick the guys at Dirk Hartog an email asking for what would be the bull bar to wheelbase on your trailer, because ultimately that's going to define, as long as the trailer wheels are up on the deck of the barge, Kieran will be able to position the ramp in a way.
And the back of your trailer is high enough.
Correct.
Like it's
you want an off-road trailer that sits up nice and high so you still get the ramp up a bit. If it's a low-down box trailer or something, it might not work.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hopefully that helps you out. If you've got a similar setup to ours, I reckon you'll be okay.
You're smidgen by that much.
But probably worth double checking just to be safe. Heather Robinson said, "We're doing Ningaloo and Dirk Hartog in May 21. Your tips are invaluable for both. You've asked for us to tell you what we'd like to see. We'd like to see a series on the HEMA Explorer app. Not finding it very intuitive and would love some videos from you and some step-by-step tutorials." I can definitely do that. Again, that'll be in a separate standalone video. During this 2020, I did do a review on the 2 HEMA devices, the HN7, HX1, and the 4-wheel drive versus HEMA Explorer. We solely used the HEMA Explorer on our iPad for this trip, and we did not have any navigational issues whatsoever. It performed flawlessly. So yeah, I'll share all that in another series. And I know that HEMA have just brought out a new app that I need to sink my teeth into and get familiar with, and I'll do probably a comparison between those 2 apps as well.
Yeah.
Oh, old bloke, I've been looking for your comment. I'm keeping an eye out for it. So Anyway, old bloke, you said, thanks for the series, guys. It's been great to be able to see all these places. Hopefully, be looking at some similar scenery for a few days soon. Obviously, this was during COVID. Hope you catch a fish. You did promise me a while back. Well, old bloke, I stood up to my side of the deal. I did say that I was going to catch a fish. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on camera, but I did go out on that fishing charter and I had a lot of fun and we did catch some good fish and we were able to cook some of it up fresh that night at camp. We've got some of it in the freezer at home to enjoy back here. And when we were at Dirk Hartog during our exploring, we did go down to Cape Ransonet down the bottom there, and I caught a nice flathead and a few other little bits and pieces. So yeah, did catch some fish for you, mate. I hope you enjoyed it. We are looking to do a bit more, I think, fishing.
Yeah, we just have the issue I puke, so...
Jess gets a bit seasick, so can't go out into the big deep blue yonder, but I have some ideas up my sleeve on some potential camping fishing trips. We've just got to see if we can fit them into the calendar and how we can pull them off. So hopefully we can make something happen there. If you have any questions now, drop them in the comments below and obviously I will type out a reply to you.
So, Graham handles all the commenting. So
yeah, if you're asking questions in YouTube, generally you're talking to me.
Or in general.
I
tried it for 2 days and I got sick of the notifications.
Jess is too busy, far too busy to be able to reply to people.
Person.
Anyway, guys, look, that is a wrap on Rocks to Reefs Season 2. We really hope you enjoyed it. We thoroughly enjoyed the trip. We thoroughly enjoyed filming it, thoroughly enjoyed producing it. I've really enjoyed seeing some nice, healthy sort of numbers in the viewing and some nice, healthy numbers in my subscriber growth rate and viewing rate. So it's been a successful little series for us.
And stay tuned because we're going to do a Season 3 this year.
Correct.
Super excited about this one.
I don't know if we ever shared with you what our big trip was meant to be for 2020. We planned on moving it to 2022 and now we've brought it forward to 2021. So,
because why not?
We got a 5.5 week trip somewhere. We'll leave it as a bit of a secret for now still. And we're really looking forward to it, and that will be Rocks to Reef Season 3. So
yeah.
Lots of good stuff to come. Obviously, if you've enjoyed this series and you're not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, I highly suggest and recommend you do go and do it. So the subscribe icon is down there, just underneath the video. And like I said, if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And of course, lastly, I want to thank a few people that really helped us out with this series. Obviously, all our sponsors and supporters, and Clive and Tanya from Cape Camper Trailers down in Bustleton for lending us their trailer. So we thoroughly enjoyed using it, and I hope everyone got to see how we used the camper trailer, what we were able to take it through, where we took it, give you guys some ideas on if you're looking at getting a camper trailer for yourself, what you can take in it, how you can use it and where you can go with it. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing some more of that, we might see if maybe we can grab it again. Who knows? But yeah, anyway, stay tuned for more Great Off-Road Adventures, guys. We're looking forward to a jam-packed 2021, bringing you more trips, bringing you more tips, more how-to videos, more reviews. You know what we're... If you've been around and you're subscribed and you've watched our videos for a while, then you know what they're like. And we're going to do it all again in 2021. So, anything you want to add? Things I don't let you talk enough.
And then you put me on the spot. You're the most considerate co-host.
Well, okay. Jess has nothing to add. That's why she doesn't talk much.
That hurts.
Cool. All right, guys. You know the deal. Happy, safe adventuring. Stay safe on the tracks and trails. And maybe we'll see you out there. If not, see you in the next video. Cheers.